Hey guys, what's up? It's JayzTwoCents, and apparently I've got the frame all messed up, so I'm gonna hunch over like this so I can actually fit in the screen. So I finally get to bring you guys a video that I'm really excited about because I finally get to build my own SLI system. Now, I have done tons of SLI builds for customers and friends, and I can't even count how many times that I've done it. I mean, SLI builds are pretty much going to be coming out of the back end of something or another. But anyway, I've never done it for myself. So I finally have found myself in a position to where I can do an SLI build, and I'm doing two GTX 780s. There's one of them right there. Brand spanking new card, going to be going inside my build, matching my other 780. Now, along with that, there's some changes I'm going to have to make. So I figured I'd do just kind of a little bit of a build log for you guys, showing you the process and what I have to do. Now, this isn't a how-to. I'm not going to show you guys how to do an SLI or how to do water cooling. I've already done water cooling. I've already done water cooling builds in the past. So you guys are going to have to go and check those out individually if you want to. But I'm going to tell you what's changing in my system. And so you can see I'm not doing just a card. I've got a lot more than a card going in there. So the parts I'm putting in, of course, Alpha Cool, some of the best radiators you can possibly buy. Now when it comes to fittings and stuff, I've got an array of extra fittings over here that I just never know what you're going to encounter, and I want to make sure I have all my radiuses and things covered in case I need to do something special there. I've got two Alpha Cool D5 pumps right here. I'm going to be doing a dual pump. Honestly, it's 100% overkill. It's not necessary, but I'm going to do it anyway just because why the hell not? Yeah. And then I've got a another SP120 Quiet Edition fan right here because I'm going to be putting, as you can see down here, this Alpha Cool 480 rad up top and removing the triple rad that I have next to my 480 rad down on the bottom. So I'm going to have two 480 rads. So why am I doing that? Sure, I had more than enough radiator capacity beforehand to where I could have just put the card in and been happy. Now, I'm glad you asked. I've got a V1200 power supply here replacing my V700 power supply from Cooler Master. It's a platinum rated power supply. Even though it says gold on the box, this is a preliminary test sample, so I won't be doing a review on that one. I'll be doing a review on the actual retail sample, which is platinum rated. But I'm going with 1200 PSI. 1200 PSI. You know, that was really a face slap. That actually hurt. But I'm going with 1200 watts of power so I can keep my system in the peak efficiency there. But that is a longer power supply. And as you know, my current build, the power supply barely fits with the triple rad there. With the longer PSU, there's no way it would have fit. So I'm going to go ahead and get that triple out of there, put a 480 up top. We're going to put it up in the roof. And we're just going to have way more radiator space than we need. And then, of course, I've got the matching EK block and backplate to the system or the block and backplate. It's hard to say. Matching block and backplate to the card that's already in there. And then we've got, of course, my tubing and stuff. And then my extra set of Lutro custom sleeved extension cables. Had those made for a reason because I knew this day was coming. So guys, let's go ahead and just kind of put this all together. Hopefully I can get it done in one day. It might take two. And then we'll go ahead and do some performance reviews and we'll see what we've got. So don't go away. Stay tuned. Be right back after these messages and all that other stuff. They stay on TV. Even though it's not TV, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the camera off here. You guys, we're back now. It's been about a week since I started this project, and let's go ahead and talk about some things that happened in between. First of all, I did change up my loop. As you guys know, I took out the triple rad, I added a 480 to the top, and I added two brand new Alpha Cool D5 pumps running in series to keep the noise down because I can leave them on a low setting and still have plenty of pumping power for two graphics cards, two radiators, and a CPU block. So perfectly happy with that. I installed the graphics cards in parallel, which means they are splitting the water flow between both of them at the same exact time, rather than running in series where the water goes through one card, then another, and then going into the CPU block. Temperature-wise, they only gained about 2 degrees Celsius per card, so instead of getting 40 to 41 degrees Celsius max on one card, I'm getting about 43 to 44 max on both cards simultaneously while overclocked and slightly overvolted. That's perfectly acceptable to me considering the fact that on air with the reference cooler it was easily going up to 80 to 85 degrees or whatever the temperature threshold was. So that's my new loop. Perfectly happy with it. Couldn't be more ecstatic. Now clearly my panel configuration behind me has changed. I was running a 27-inch 60 Hz panel, 1080p panel, and a 24-inch 60 Hz 1080p panel. and I decided I was just going to use the 127-inch, but it was so freaking overkill, and I was getting 200 frames per second in Battlefield 4, which is the cap, on preset Ultra with MSAA and all settings maxed. It was averaging anywhere between 170 to 200, and I had friends over here to witness it and could see that the frames per second was just beyond ridiculous. So I thought, you know, considering it was scoring, you know, almost 5,200 in Valley benchmark, and it was scoring 20,500 in 3D Mark 11, I figured, you know, let's go ahead and do this right. So I took the 27-inch and put it on my test bench, took the 28-inch on the test bench, giving that to the wife, and I decided to go ahead and go with 3 24-inch matching panels, which are the Acer G246HL panels. I love the panels, $140. Couldn't ask for a better panel for the price. You may have another panel in that price range that you prefer. Then go with whatever panel you want. I don't care what you use whatever the heck you want. I only am worried about what I like, so you can keep the panel comments and go and buy your favorite panels. Now, with 3 times 1080p 60 hertz, that's what, 5760 by 1080, I think is the resolution. So I knew it was going to hammer the cards a little bit more, but even in Battlefield right now, I'm still getting great frames per second averages here in 2-way SLI with 3-way monitors, and I could not be happier. The only thing I have a hard time getting used to is the peripheral vision. I'm not used to seeing all this stuff happening out of the side, so I'm kind of like wide-eyed when I'm playing, and I'm feeling very, yeah, wide-eyed, scary eyes. So I've been having a hard time getting used to that. It's getting better, but flying in Battlefield 4, absolutely amazing. Flight simulators are fun. Driving simulators are fun. Maybe I'll build a driving simulator now, and I can actually play some iRacing with Jerry, aka Barnacles, and maybe cause some havoc over on iRacing. But I digress. It's a whole lot of fun, and I can't wait to experience this even more with having 3 monitors active at the same time. Titanfall has some quirks with it. I don't think it's working perfectly because for some reason when I have 3 panels going, I have no radar and I have no points progress whatsoever. No radar, no points, but everything else is perfect. So I don't know what happened to the radar. So that makes the game a little bit harder. Guys, I'm really happy with the NV Surround. I've never had an NV Surround of my own. I have set it up for other people, but I've never had it full-time for myself to mess around with. So yeah, if it's something you guys have, you know, graphics cards that will support it, you'd have to have a really powerful single card to do it. 2-way SLI is certainly recommended for that. But it's something that I am learning to enjoy, and I think that the immersion of gaming is just a whole lot more awesome when you have stuff happening, you know, all the way through your peripheral vision in front of you. Flying in Battlefield 4 is a whole new experience. Flying in my flight sims is amazing, and driving simulators, if I finally can go out and buy a steering wheel, will be even better. And I'll have a lot more fun with that. So there you go, guys. That's my experience here with setting up NV Surround for myself. The first time I've owned an NV Surround setup, and my first time really running a 2-way SLI setup of my own. I'm used to 1 powerful card. Having 2 with 3 monitors is just a whole new experience. It's really, really exciting. So what are you guys using? Are you doing an NV Surround? Are you doing an iFinity on AMD? Tell us about your setups and your monitor setups so that people who are thinking about doing this can learn from you guys on what your experiences are. Try and keep it halfway, you know, NVIDIA sucks or AMD sucks free. I know it's hard for you guys. I know you're really passionate about the brands that you like, but do the best you can to be mature. I know it's hard, and it's the internet. But go ahead and help each other out. Talk about it down in the comments there, or take it over to the website or on Twitter. As always, guys, you know where to find me, and I will see you in my next video.